Austin just coming off the road trip this week. What do you see from those games? What can you guys take away from those two?
Yeah, obviously leading into those two, got two big wins on the road at Washburn, at Central Missouri, which are obviously tough places to play. We hadn't won there a ton in the past. We go into UNK, played pretty well, especially the first half offensively. CK gets in some foul trouble there, and so as a coach, you're sitting there, you're scared those last 8 minutes of the second quarter to make sure she doesn't get her third. And hindsight, 2020 probably should have left her in and just let her play through it, and maybe you got a bigger lead at the half. But one possession game with a couple minutes left on the road at UNK and couldn't pull it out. So, there's two games there against them that, we had a chance to win late and then pull it out. And then go to Hayes and, they're really good and just kind of a little overmatched in that one. But overall, got a split on the 4-game trip. So
I was going to say a 4-game trip. Now getting back home. Just what you look forward to for getting back home and having now at least a little bit of a homestand.
Yeah, it's good to be back home, and obviously we're going to play the same teams we just played in the North Division, which is kind of crazy the way it's set up this year. But yeah, opportunity. Our kids know they can beat these teams, but again, they're good teams. Washburn's got one of the best post players in the league, and they're a good team. So it's just it's been a gauntlet for us all year, and hopefully we can play well, get some things going, and put a little run together.
Kenzie, he just kind of opened it with you being the redshirt, obviously, and how has that been? I'm sure in the past you haven't gone this long without playing in a regular game and things like that. So talk about kind of the process of redshirting and anything surprised you about it? Have you enjoyed anything about it more than you thought you would? Talk about the process.
It's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. At first I was kind of like, this is going to be a long season, but I feel like it's the same. We still get to travel, which is really, really nice, and practices are still fun, and you learn so much from the older girls. And honestly, I would do it again. I would choose a red shirt all over again. It's super fun.
Talk about Austin.
I didn't tell her to say that.
I was going to say junior year red shirt. Here we go. But now Austin, talk about that group. You've kind of, in your years with the program, you've gone from a lot of red shirts some year to not very many, and this year you have a pretty big group that I know you're pretty excited about. So talk about that group and what they've kind of brought to the table in that role that can be kind of difficult to fit into sometimes.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. It is a hard thing. Kenzie was one that, at the beginning of the season, when we're going through kind of our rotations, and she was, she'd played really well early and was kind of in that mix. And so we always sit down, have conversations. Here's where you're at. And we try to talk that out with them, and it makes sense. And sometimes it's hard for kids to see that far down the road, but you look at the successful kids in the past, men and women's basketball here at Northwest, there's a lot of kids that redshirted that went on to do really big things, and we feel like Kenzie's going to be in that boat. Maggie Collins, Avery Yostin, we got multiple kids that we feel are going to help our program moving forward. And it can be hard when you're not playing games and you get into the late season where there's times we're scrimmaging and it's, hey, red shirts, you're off here. So Kenzie's done a great job of just controlling what she can control, having a great attitude every day, and she knows right when this season's over, it really revs up, and it's go time for her.
Has that been fun to go through it with the other red shirts? If you were the only one, maybe it'd be a little different feeling, I guess, or situation to be the only one going through that. But has it been fun that there's been a pretty decent sized group of you? Yeah,
it definitely makes it a lot better and different, but I don't know.
Gotcha. And Austin, going into this week, like you said, teams you just played, that's unique for any season. Don't really have that until maybe tournament time, but talk about kind of turning the page and seeing these teams again that you just played 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, for both teams, obviously you got the scout done, you know each other well, so it just comes down to executing. I thought we did a decent job of executing at their place, and obviously winning the game in overtime and making some plays late. But there was a lot of things that we've talked about. Our margin for error when you play, the number one strength of schedule in the country, your margin for error is is a little bit lower. You can't make a ton of mistakes. You can, when you're playing maybe average team, below average teams, you can go back in the film and say, hey, we broke down 3 or 4 times in transition. We didn't guard 4 or 5 ball screens. But when you play elite teams all the time, you can't have 2, 3, 4. That's going to be too many in a game. And so that stuff it shows. And so we got to know that. We got to get better in all areas and compete and focus. And hopefully we look back and I feel like I'm kind of an idiot right now with how I scheduled this year. Some of it was controllable, some of it with the conference wasn't. But I feel like down the stretch here we're going to be in position to hopefully make a good run going into the postseason, and then maybe be thankful that we did schedule that tough when it's all said and done.
Coach, you talk about a schedule you've had, and I think a good word to describe that schedule may be a gauntlet at some times, but just talk about the presence of Coach Tucker on the bench this year and kind of what he's added in a very, very, a quick transition from, where he's been to where he is now, and then you provide the schedule that you do and ask him to coach in a situation like that. What has he provided to the bench, to the players? And Kenzie, you can go ahead and add to this if you'd like to, but just talk about his presence on the bench and the characteristics that make him good.
Yeah, number one, he's just a high character dude. The kids enjoy being around him. He's our defensive coordinator, so we feel like our offense has improved since we got back from break, running more sets and stuff, and so allowing me to focus more on that, him to kind of focus on the defense, where you put more focus into those areas, it's easier to improve. And he does a great job recruiting. He's high level. The things people he's bringing into campus and stuff on visits. But he's been awesome, and for coming in here as quick as he did. And a lot of times that stuff takes time, but we rely on him a lot. And Kenzie can speak on.
Yeah, he has a lot of energy too. Like, it's never low, and he puts a lot of time and effort into all of us individually, no matter what, if we're playing or not. If you just say, hey, I want to do this, film, workout, whatever, he'll make time for you, which that's also really awesome.